Toni Kroos changed his boots. Toni Kroos changed his bots. Toni Kroos changed his bouts. What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video that honestly I didn't think I would have to make, but it looks like Toni Kroos is finally going to upgrade from his custom 11 Pro 2s that he's been wearing for the last 3 or 4 years. And as you can see by these pictures, it looks like he's upgraded to the brand new Copa 19.1. Sort of. I feel like at this point, pretty much everyone knows the story with his boots. He's been wearing the same custom 11 Pro 2s, the model that I'm holding here, but obviously not the exact same boot. The upper, for the most part, looks to be pretty similar, but it has a completely different sole plate featuring the older Adidas stud pattern. This stud pattern, but with a solid sole plate as opposed to a split sole. If you've been following what's happening in the football boot world over the last few weeks, you know that there's a lot of hype around the brand new Adidas Copa 19 Plus. It's laceless, it's kangaroo leather, and it's quite frankly a little bit weird looking, but overall very, very good boots. Dybala being the main face behind all the marketing of this particular boot. Now, I was never expecting Toni Kroos to wear a laceless leather boot ever, even if it was a custom variation. But Adidas also put out a 19.1 model that features sort of the same upper, but of course with a lacing system. And if you look at the pictures that you're seeing on screen right now, Kroos is actually wearing an updated version of what he has been wearing, but still with some custom tweaks. The first thing that you can very clearly see is that his boots have a custom sole plate and stud pattern, the exact one that he has been wearing on his custom 11 Pros, which when compared to the retail version of the Copa 19.1, as you can see, is completely different. The upper, however, is what I'm personally surprised about because it doesn't actually look to be that different from the retail version of the Copa 19.1. Now, I think there's one thing that we can assume, and that is that his pair is custom made for his feet, so that you know they're gonna fit pretty much perfectly. But if you look closely at the pictures, the construction looks to be almost identical to that of the Copa 19.1 that you can actually buy. If you don't know and you're not familiar with this boot, it's kangaroo leather at the front and then kind of a mesh-based fused synthetic towards the rear, and the two parts are attached to each other by way of a process called fusion skin. At least that's what Adidas is calling it. But the main quirk of this particular boot is going to be the burrito style tongue, where essentially the lateral side of the upper wraps across the top of your foot and then tucks into the medial side. You can very clearly see how that works, and it does create an interesting look. When looking at Kroos's boots on his feet, you can very clearly see that he does in fact have the burrito style tongue based on this area of the foot. If that was separated, you'd be able to see it, and it's not, and that's what I'm very surprised about. I fully expected eventually that Toni Kroos would make an upgrade to a newer model from the Adidas brand, and they make a custom variation that looked like what you could buy, but in reality was something very, very different. Of course, he still has his custom sole plate and stud pattern, but the upper, based on the look, seems to be almost identical. It has the burrito style tongue instead of a regular one, and you can even see through the midfoot, it looks to have the same general fusion skin construction, which again, I'm just super surprised about. Now, what's super important to note here is that at this point in time, as I'm making this video, he has only worn these custom Copa 19.1s in training and not in a match. So it's entirely possible that Adidas has given him these boots and he's simply trying them out, because until he wears them in a match consistently, he's not officially made a boot switch. All kinds of different pros wear different boots in training than they do in matches. So I'm not 100% confident that this boot switch is in fact going to happen, but the fact that he has been spotted wearing these new boots in multiple training sessions at this point does lead me to believe that he is in fact finally going to make a switch. What I would love to know, and there's really no way for us to know this, is whether or not this is something that Adidas is forcing on Kroos. I'm going to assume that they aren't. I'm sure they have suggested, hey, do you want to wear the latest boot? We'll make you a custom variation multiple times. He's probably denied all of those times, but it looks like he's finally going to make the switch. And it's possible, I would think, that Adidas has told him, hey, we're not making that old boot for you anymore. You're gonna have to wear something that at least looks a little bit newer. So that's what looks like is happening right now. I also think that Adidas Adidas more than ever is really trying to make a big push with the modern Copa lineup, because it hasn't really seen that much marketing attention when we look at the previous two generations, the Copa 17.1 or 18.1. Neither of them were represented by any big name pro players. They now have Dybala kind of headlining the new Copa 19 Plus, and if they could have Kroos wearing some variation of what at least looks like a Copa 19.1, I think that would be very, very helpful for them from a marketing perspective. And being that Toni Kroos is being paid by Adidas to wear Adidas boots, it only makes sense that the two would work together a little bit more closely. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think he's actually going to make a switch this time, or he's just wearing some new boots and training to keep Adidas happy? If anything, I think this says a lot about the brand new Copa 19 generation. Both the 19 Plus and 19.1 are really, really good boots. And if you are looking for more info on either of them, there are reviews to both on my YouTube channel already, so be sure to go ahead and check those out if you haven't seen them. If you guys did enjoy this video and perhaps want to see more boot spotting videos on the channel, don't forget to support this one with a like. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.